Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Fatma, and in this video I'm going to present a proposal with the topic the effect of skimming method to improve students' reading comprehension on descriptive text on 8th grade student of SMPN 26 Padang. And here are the outline of my presentation. The first one is introduction. And the next one, I want to talk about review related literature. And the last one, I'm going to talk about research method. First, let's talk about introduction. Reading comprehension refers to the ability to go beyond the words, to understand the ideas and the relationship between ideas conveyed in the text. So as we know that there are 4 skills that we need to learn if we want to master English. They are speaking, writing, listening, and reading. And reading is one of the important language skill that must be mastered by the students. Reading is not just spelling the word; it's also about how we understand the meaning of or how we get the information contained in the text. When we read, we need to know every single word in the text. When we talk about reading, our mind will be automatically related to the with comprehension or understanding. And comprehension is the primary motivation for reading. If the readers are able to read the word in the text but cannot understand the message or the information in the text, it cannot be said that they are reading. And reading comprehension means that the reader understands about what is talking about in the text. And it is fundamental to apply a good and a great, also an effective teaching method in reading comprehension, so the student can understand and get the correct information that about what is talking about in the text. So the teacher must find a good strategy in teaching reading. And there are many methods in reading comprehension. One of them is skimming. Brown explained that skimming is the process of rapid coverage of reading matter to determine the gist or the main idea. When the readers do skimming, the reader do not need to read the whole text. They can get the main ideas of the text by focus on the important ideas and let through to the unimportant part. By skimming, students can get information from the text without wasting their time. And let's talk about the identification of the problem. So, based on the background of the problem that is stated above, there are some problems that can be identified. The first one is the student do not understand what descriptive text is. They are still confused the language feature, social function, and the generic structure of the descriptive text. The second one is the student have difficulties in reading comprehension on descriptive text, which related to the lack of vocabularies. The third problem comes from the teacher's strategy. Some of the teacher's strategy are monotonous and not effective enough to the students. It makes the student confused when they want to answer the question, such as topic, identifying the main idea, and other information. Therefore, skimming strategy can help the students understand the meaning of the text. And the limitation of the problem, to make the research not too broad in its scope and limitation. So the researcher would like to limit the scope of the problem. The problem of the study was limited on the method, that is skimming, and it limited to the effect of skimming method on student reading comprehension on descriptive text at grade 8 of SMPN 26 Padang. And the formulation of the problem, it's do skimming method give significant effect on student reading comprehension? And the research question based on the formulation of the problem. Here are the research questions. The first one is, do students who are taught by skimming method have better reading skill as compared to the students who are taught without skimming method at grade 8 of SMP 26 Padang? And the second research questions is, what are the effects of using skimming method in reading comprehension on descriptive text? And the purpose of this research is to find out whether the students who are taught by skimming method have better reading skill as compared to the students who are taught without skimming method at a grade 8 SMPN 26 Padang. And the second purpose is to find out whether effect of skimming method in reading comprehension on descriptive text. And the significance of the research, the first one is theoretically. Theoretically, the findings of the research can be a source of information about investigating the effect of skimming method in the reading comprehension on the descriptive text. And practically, it can be guideline for the teachers to use some method in teaching ways. For the next research, he or she can research other teaching method that can affect reading comprehension. And here are the operational definition. First one is reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is the activity to looking the text to get information and understand the meaning of the text. And for skimming method is a teaching strategy where the students read the first sentence of each paragraph to get information of the text. It was taught to the experimental class. And let's move to the next part is review related literature. First, a review to the related theories is this reading comprehension. Anderson and Bernard mentioned that reading is an interactive process in which the text responds to the reader's input. Reading comprehension is defined as the level of understanding of a passage or a text. And comprehension means understanding about something and getting information from the text that is read. So reading comprehension focuses on the information that the reader have while understanding the text. It can be concluded that reading comprehension refers to the students read the text and understand what is saying in the text. There are some types of reading comprehension based on Dr. Petal and Pravin Join. The first one is intensive reading. Intensive reading or passage reading is when the learner read the text and recall the accuracy of the text. It's used for a shorter text and it provides the difficulties of the structures and vocabulary. The next type is extensive reading. Extensive reading is means read a big number of reading materials quickly for a long time. For example, whole books to get information and understanding about the material. The purpose of these types of reading comprehension is to make the students enjoy the practice reading directly and fluently in the target language. And the next one is reading aloud. It means that the student reading aloud the text and the best of word pronunciation. And the last type is silent reading. So in this type, the student will read the text silently. So students should able to read fluently without any difficulties. The readers need to discover the meaning of words or sentences and the thoughts within the text. The next one is skimming method. The study mentioned that skimming is an academic text immediately before you read. It carefully can help you consider what you already know and can help you develop the purpose of reading. And skimming can also help maximize your interest in the text and your understanding and reflection on the material. Skimming is a way to get a quick overview of a piece of writing. And when people scan a page, they get key points of the text without reading every word. So you may skim by reading the titles, subheadings, words in that are in bold and italics or underlined, diagrams, the first sentence of every paragraph, and chapters objective, chapter summarize. Okay, so let's move to the review related findings. There are several findings that correlated with this study with the skimming method and reading comprehension skill. The first preview study was conducted by Dylan 2020, which entitled "The Effect of Skimming Method to Improve Students' Ability in Reading Comprehension on Narrative Text." The results showed that the effect of skimming method can increase the student's skill in reading narrative text. And the second review study was conducted by Utami 2022, which entitled "The Effectiveness of Using Skimming Technique to Improve Students' Reading Comprehension." The result shows that the skimming technique was effective to improve the student reading comprehension. And the third review study was conducted by a study which entitled "Improving Reading Comprehension Skill by Using Skimming Technique at 10th grade of SMA Palopo." And the researcher found that there were significant development on students' reading comprehension at 10th grade of SMA Palopo after conducting the treatment of using skimming method. And here are the conceptual framework. This research will be done by two different classes of the same level. One class as an experimental class, and the other class is control class. And the experimental class will get treatment by applying skimming method, and the other class, the control class, will not get treatment on the skimming method. And here are the hypotheses of the research. The first one, the students who are taught by skimming method do not get better reading comprehension on descriptive text than the students without using skimming method. And the next hypothesis is the students who are taught using skimming method get better reading comprehension of descriptive text than the student without using skimming method. And let's jump to the research method. The first one is method and design of this research. This research used a pre-experimental research, and the researchers used, the first one is pretest. Pretest is given to the student before researcher present about a skimming technique. And the purpose is to know the student's prior knowledge about reading comprehension text. The next one is treatment. Treatment is used to the experimental class. In each meeting, the researcher will give descriptive text as a teaching material and use a skimming method. And the last is post-test. Post-test is given after the treatment. The purpose is to know whether skimming method can encourage the student reading and comprehension in this descriptive text or not. And the population and sample. The population of the study will be the student of class of class 8 of SMP Negeri 6 Padang in academic years of 2021 or 2022. The class consists of 30 students as the population in this research. The example is I will choose one class at grade 8 of the SMP Negeri 6 Padang. And as instruments, the instrument of this study will be a reading comprehension test or descriptive test, descriptive text, and the text is taken from students' textbook. And the next one is teaching technique of collecting data. There are some procedures. The first one, pre-test, to measure. So pre-test is used to measure their ability and reading comprehension before giving the treatment. And the student will give a text, and then the student will answer the question based on the text. For treatment, the researcher will do the treatment to the experimental class by explaining about the specific text and apply the skimming method to the student. And the last step is post-test. The student will do a test after the treatment, and the result of the score will compare to the result of the pre-test. And here are the technique of analyzing the data. In this research, the researcher analyzed the data that is collected from the sample by this following step. The first one, and here are the steps. First one is scoring the student correct answer and classifying to the student score. The third one is calculating the rate percentage, and the last one is remaining the mean score standard deviation test of significance and standard significance. So that's all about my presentation. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.